So weekly update number 39. Are we on 39 already? We are on 39. And I haven't done any fun intros for this one. Like I normally try and do an intro, because apparently that works with SEO or something, I don't know. And also we're not really going to be doing any pop-ups and stuff at the moment. Just doesn't seem right with the current situation in Spain. We're going to stick to the format and tell you about visas and residency, then YouTube, and then all about Spain, which evidently we're going to be talking about what's the crisis which is happening here. And I'm not just going to repeat myself, repeat what you've seen on the news, shall I say. I'm just going to give you my opinion and tell you what's happening from our side and from people we've spoken to about the whole crisis which is ongoing. So yeah, let's talk about visas and residency. Well, visas in the UK very slow at the moment, and Manchester really seem to be dragging their heels again, with some of the applications now going over the 90-day period. I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it with our clients, and I've heard it from colleagues as well. So you're not alone if you're one of those people who's still waiting for their visas, but we really don't know what the bottleneck is there in Manchester. Such a shame, because they were Manchester were actually one of the better consulates right at the start of after Brexit, and now again they are not even respecting the 90 days in some cases. And in others we're sending some right at the beginning, some very ambiguous requirement emails and stuff like that. So yeah, that's not the best, but look, historically they do come out, they just take a lot longer. So I don't know what's going on in Manchester, but we'll keep you in the loop with that. What we have done is, people have got NIE numbers. You can check using the file checker system on the Spanish governments to see what process it is here in Spain. So you have en trámite or resuelto. En trámite means it's in process. Resuelto means it's been approved. Okay, so and we've checked a few and it just says in process. So I wonder if the bottleneck is actually here and not there. But if that was the case, why are we still receiving visas from London? The other thing is that system isn't always that reliable, because we've had renewals come through and they have been approved, and it still says on the system in process. So, not the best of news with the visas at the moment from Manchester, but stick in there, guys. This end, everything seems to be working well. Great appointments from Malaga, Alicante and Murcia. Almeria, as always, dreadful, and the Balearic Islands aren't that good, which we're trying to get some appointments on there at the moment. What else is going on? EU residencies, yeah, fine. Now, the storms and the weather hadn't and didn't affect at all the police stations being open, to the point where the Monday morning of the main storm here, the morning after the night before, we had appointments in Malaga. Well done to our clients who managed to make it, and also to Lara, who did that appointment in the absolutely teeming rain, and it was done fine. So yeah, all good appointments here. We've had EU residencies. We've had a delay on the ITV appointments for vehicles, because they were striking at the end of last month, and they seem to be picking up, and they're about a week or two behind with giving us our appointments. So they're giving them in 2 weeks time. We're normally giving around 7 to 10 days, but to be honest with you, that's still not very bad considering what we've seen in the past. Now, next week, in other news, next week, the Consejo de Ministros, so the ministers, are supposed to be approving the new immigration law. After it gets approved, it will then be written into the BOE. There's a 20-day period, which is like a call-off period, and then we're going to know the final text. We should know the final text before of this new updated immigration law. Now, this has been floating around for a long time, and there's been a lot of information and speculation out there on the social media about what will happen to the non-lucrative visa. Now, this is in our world, in our field, in our should we say, in our social media area, because basically our main service product is non-lucrative visa. But in other areas, there's been huge ramifications for people bringing their family members over who are working and stuff like that. So we're yet to see if there's going to be any of the work platform visas improved. The whole idea with this new renewed law is that it makes things a lot easier, but evidently there was in the draft the notice about putting non-lucrative visa renewals to 4 years after the first year rather than doing them every 2 years. We don't know if that's going to be in the final law itself, but we do know it was in the draft. And as soon as we know the final text, we'll be bringing out a video and giving you our opinion on what could happen in that respect. Obviously, that is a worry for people who are thinking about using savings, and also a worry for people if they're on their 3rd and 4th year. They've got that coming up. But the problem is we won't know until the final text is written, and it's all speculation until we get the final text. So it doesn't matter what you say, because that could just change like that. Go back and the final text would just say, oh no, it's how it was before, or it's 4 years but you only have to have X amount of EPREM. It could say anything. So albeit I've wanted to get stuff out there and probably share my opinion of what can happen, it's probably not the right thing to do at the moment until with that final decisive text on the table. Then we can go, right, okay, now we know what it's going to be like moving forward. Okay, then, so that's what's happening with visas and residency. Let's talk about our YouTube channel. So now what's happening with our YouTube channel. Now I'm not going to do pop-ups with the comments because it's quite hard for me to edit the video as we're going along. In fact, I'm looking at changing the software I use to record them so I can do it live, really. I keep saying I'm going to look at that. Maybe we'll look at that at Christmas. Instead of recording them, actually record them live or do them live. Wouldn't the weekly update be better done live? Let me know your opinion. Would you prefer the weekly update to be done live? Also, I was thinking about doing more live videos, live shorts and stuff like that, just on a day-to-day basis. Oh, wow, look at that. It's a tree we get in Spain. I don't know. That may bore people to death. I don't know. But anyway, let's go through our comments quickly, shall we? The main ones, and answer your questions. From an hour ago, Barry, hi, what happens if not after 90 days? Been waiting 77 days in Manchester. Well, what happens after 90 days? I think we've sort of answered that in the last section, Barry. You still have to wait for your visa, but you can write them a letter and state that it's been over 90 days. Please, can I have my visa? In terms of legal recourse, you don't really have a lot of legal recourse with them. You can raise a complaint. I'll probably advise against raising a complaint against them. First of all, I would say go in with a polite letter reminding them that they have 90 days to resolve the visa and to send it out, and could they let you know why the visa hasn't been issued. And also remember to check your spam in case they've sent you an email that you haven't received. Next one, an hour ago. Hi Chris, Faith Bowman 312. Hi Chris, if the renewal of the TIE changes to a 4-year visa, that will make it very difficult for pensioners with state pending and savings pension, I think I should say, and savings to qualify the EPREM multiplier. Is it likely they will make allowances for those already in the system? I'm going to answer that once I've seen the text. I'm not going to speculate on what could happen because it could all change, and we've seen lots of times things change in the past. Christopher X6C, it took me several times to get the hang of it. This is on our paying a speeding fine video. Gets loads of hits, that. I'm glad that's definitely paid for itself, that speeding fine I got. I can tell you that now. It took me several tries to get the hang of it, but finally it worked. It'll be nice in terms if the terms used on the DGT payment portal would jibe a little better with the terms used on the ticket. Thanks for the video. You're welcome there, Chris. Thanks for that. And we have Monsi Felasri said on our registering a car in Spain video, the quick guide. It's a good job these old videos are getting hits, The question is, where do I get this done? Where should I go in order to register my car? I'm not able to find info. In France, it's easy. Their website with all the steps. There's a website with all the steps. Well, the video is pretty good. Sort of explains it, really. And if you come into Malaga, drop us an email and we'll do it for you. Kev the Argonaut, good stuff. Glad to see that you're on the road to recovery. Cheers, Kev. Thanks. It's nice to see you on the channel. Again, hope you're well out there enjoying life. And yet, all recovering really well. Amazing technology to just put... I keep going on about it, but I just can't believe... So, the 7th of October, I had that horrible accident where the arm, and you see the photo, it's like that, it's bent in two and snapped, and then literally today the physio's doing this and he's doing this and he's doing this. I'm like, oh, I really hurt. But he's like, yeah, in a month's time, you know, it's literally this has got to come off in a couple of weeks and you can start, you know, just, I'm like, wow, incredible. If it was a cast, it'd been there for 3 or 4 months. Kev de Argonaut on our sea, Africa from Spain, El Mirador de Estrecho 360. So, 360 tour of the Mirador from Spain. I took this during the summer, actually. And when we went past the Estrecho, there's a viewpoint where you can see Africa from Spain. So check out our 360 video of it, and don't forget to change the quality of the video to see it in 4 or 8K even. I record them all in 8K and it's absolutely amazing. It's 360 and you can either move it around on your screen by touching it or move your phone around and it would work perfectly. They're great videos. They don't get many hits at the moment, but I'm going to continue to do them to give everybody a life-like experience of being in Spain. And Kevin said that's pretty cool tech there, Chris. The viewer controlling 360, turning his own device. Yeah. Thanks for that. How long is a Padron certificate valid for? Wits End 7 days ago they said to us, what if I have a DNA? I'm half Spanish. What I need to present my Padron certificate to access healthcare? If so, it seems odd to have to request a copy. Bearing in mind I'd probably have to make a physical appointment for that. Depends how you're receiving your healthcare. Now, I don't think you do, because the address on the back of your DNE, if you've got one, should be valid. Foreigners need Padron certificate over Spanish people a lot of the time in places like the DGT. A Spaniard can go just with their DNE card and with the address on the back, use that as the proof of the address, whereas a foreigner can't. There was a question on whether people could do it with a TIE card. Some DGTs let you, some DGTs don't, but foreigners definitely need to use a Padron more than Spanish do. But really, to register your healthcare, as long as you've got a DNE with your address on the back of it, I don't think you're going to need one. I think it's down to the Social Security Office will take your address from the back of your card. Hope your arm's better. Frank's Flex, thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you on WhatsApp. Yeah, look forward to that. And sorry for cancelling our call initially, but couldn't do it the week that my arm was cream crackered. Paul Pilot, thanks for that. Sending me best wishes. Hope the recovery is going well. And what else have we got? That's it. Comments I haven't responded and published. Oh, where are we? Is there anything I've missed out here? Oh, Patrick, cheers, Patrick Connell, 8187, another good one, Chris. That's from our 360. Yeah, I got some more coming. I'm going to get some more. As soon as I'm too armed again, I'm going to get out there. I love doing the 360 videos, I really do. That said, that was one of the things I was doing when I broke my arm. Was messing about with my camera. I was, oh, I'm going to take a photo. Boom. There you go. So be careful. What else do we have here? I am Spanish. My partner is Slovak. This is from Cristobalito, 1966. He now has an NIE, but is going to Spanish lessons for foreigners. Till his Spanish improves. When he gets a job, does he need a TIE on obtaining a job? If your partner is Slovakian and in part of the EU, then he doesn't need a TIE. He needs a European registration document, which is the EU Citizens Residency. It's known as a Certificado de Registro de Ciudadano de la Unión Europea, and it's the old residency that the Brits used to get before they left the EU, and now that all EU citizens still get. You don't have to have that before you get a job. You can get an NIE, you can get a job, and you can use your job contract to then attain that certificate, which is great. And you can also do that as a self-employed person as well. So there we go. Thanks for everything. I think that's all the comments. We're going to talk about Spain now. So now we're going to talk about Spain, and well, you've all seen the news. I don't need to flash up pictures that you've all seen a million times of what's happened mainly in Valencia, and also here in Malaga, when the night of the floods. Obviously Valencia was just, horrific. What is happening there? Let's not forget that what happened there, what actually is happening there at the moment, with the updates that we're getting. We're still finding people. They expect the death toll to rise. But evidently all of you know what's going on in the news, so I'm not going to keep repeating that. There's also some great channels out there which keep you up to date with the progress. I was going to tell you what happened sort of our end and what it was like to live here while that was happening. Now, evidently, at the time the storm happened, we were here in Malaga. Malaga didn't take as much as a battering at all as Valencia, though it did take quite a big one. And it's just so strange because the night I've never seen an electrical storm like it and rain like it at all. I mean, if your house survived that, then you know that it's going to survive more or less anything, because that's the worst rainfall I'd ever seen where I live there. Apart from, I'm going to say now, around 10 years ago. So I think it was 2020 or 2024. I think it was around 2020, 2015. We had another big storm like this here in Malaga. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So yeah, what happened during the evening? Well, it was just relentless. It seemed to be that it was just, you know, where you count the 1, 2, 3 between how far away is the storm. It just wasn't like that at all. It was just storm, thunder, storm, thunder, storm, thunder, and relentless rain. We had a couple of leaks, and where I live, our track got washed away. But apart from that, no real damage, I have to say. The track is just rough and he's relaying, but apart from that, that's it. The following morning, though, that's normally when the sun comes up, the temperatures tend to rise slightly, and it seems to slow down a little bit sometimes. And it just was relentless, just didn't stop. And we had to go out to get the children to school, and it was one of those like, do we, don't we, what we're going to find out there type thing. But once we actually got out onto the main road, there wasn't a lot of difference between what you'd find on a normal day. So everybody seemed to be going to school. The sides of the roads, where the water runs off into, were full, but that's doing its job. That's what it's supposed to do. We got the kids into school. There didn't seem to be many people, you know, apart from obviously everybody with umbrellas. Didn't seem to be a lot of people not going. We then headed into Malaga, which took an hour and a half. And that's when we noticed that, oh, hang on a minute, we think there's some big problems here. But even in Malaga, when we got there, I had a hospital appointment, and Lara had a appointment to meet clients. She met the clients. It was torrential rain, had to go with umbrellas and stuff, but Malaga itself the capital wasn't particularly flooded. Now we think, and also our town wasn't flooded at all, and it did flood around 10 years ago. Not as bad as anything you've seen in Valencia, but there was roads washed away. We're at the side of a mountain, and it all came through the town and made it quite a bit of damage and blocked some roads and stuff like that. After that, and no one's talking about it here in our town really, they installed some pretty heavy storm drains, and I believe they took precautions after the last flooding in Malaga as well, and put some bigger drains there as well. And this time it didn't seem to affect the actual cities itself. Now what it did affect our end here in Malaga was the river, which is it always affects, and once it bursts its banks in certain areas, well, that obviously goes into places where people live. And sadly, the strangest thing, where we weren't affected, but a kilometre away from our house, where Santa Amalia, which is the town the other side of the road closest to the river, there was people which were on the back side of that town being dragged away with helicopters, because we could hear a helicopter, and sadly one passed away. So it's strange to have that kind of thing going on around you, but you don't really notice it. And then as the river obviously comes down the Guadalhorce Valley, we're talking about our river now, the Guadalhorce River, there's a lot of places which have been affected, and people have basically had to leave their homes because they were flooded. So yeah, it goes to, when you're buying a place in Spain, definitely check how close you are to a river or something like that. As for Valencia, I spoke to Costa, our colleague up there, and he was fine. Where the part where he was living, it didn't get affected. He's in an apartment. I think he said east. I think on the phone. He just bought that place, but he said literally out the window he could see the destruction further in the distance. Had to cancel a trip because there's no way he was going to get to the airport. The only way would have been to walk and doesn't really know what he was going to find, so we feel bad for him. And now the fallout with the supermarkets is evidently in Valencia. I mean, they're just they're relying on, in the most hard hit areas, people's donations, here you'll find, even in Malaga, that suddenly there's no baby food on the shelves. There's nappies and stuff that all seem to gone because people have been asked to buy them, drop them off, and there's already lorries and lorries and lorry loads of stuff going down towards Valencia to help people there. And that just brings me to my point of the solidarity of the Spanish. Now, I don't want to get too involved in should the Spanish government, the army, have reacted quick enough. That's all in the press. Though, you know, that you can really understand why people feel abandoned. Of course you can. But the solidarity of the Spanish is just, it's reminding me of COVID. It's just, you know, it's just drop everything and help. You know, that's what it is. Let's just completely just drop everything and help. That's it. What can we do? You know, it goes from such a lower level where, you know, the moment I did my arm, it's like, my mate just, right, don't worry, we're coming round, we've got all the barbecue stuff, we're going to feed you, you know, don't worry about that, type thing. Oh, okay, just sit down, we're feeding you. My mate came round and used my barbecue. You know, there's a so small level to this huge, like, when there's a natural disaster like there has been, I mean, immediately, there was no question. It was just like the schools were like, you need to do this, you need to do this, this is what we want to do, we want to collect this. And you've already seen it. It's just people giving up their transport, modes of transport to take it down there, not going to work, the collections, and, you know, just everybody's, how much do we need? How much do we need? What do you really need, first of all? Do we need a box of pots to send? Yeah, there we go. You know, so this is where the pueblo, as they call it, always comes together as one. And people, as you would have seen, the tens of thousands of people who were queuing up just to help and volunteer on the TV, that is just a reflection of what is happening in the whole of Spain. Basically, everybody wants to help. So I mean, that is just amazing how everybody comes together. Well, I still have my notes. So yeah, I'm not doing any sort of cheery things because I don't think it's appropriate at the moment. And we will carry on next week and hopefully have some better news from the recovery efforts and stuff like that now, and how people are getting their lives back together. We will start showing you about what's happening here in Malaga, out and about, and I've got loads of stuff that people sent me which I'm going to start to show you. There's just one thing that did annoy me as well, was that just be careful of the social media that you watch when it comes to these floods, because people still use it as clickbait. It's just despicable and sad. And I would put a photo of a flooding here, or a short of flooding if it was happening in front of me and I was informing people you know, of what was going on in Malaga or in La Torre. I thought it was interesting for our viewers to see. But there's people, I saw one there, and it was a Facebook group or page or something. It shared something off a TikTok that said Nerja on it. And it wasn't. It was a flood from France about 10 years ago. You know, the moment I saw the picture, I was like, and it was shared to me, like, oh my God, look what happened in Nerja. I was like, that's not Nerja. I know Nerja. That's definitely not Nerja. You know, it's just definitely the houses, the people, the registrations on the cars. You know, I'm like, that's terrible. And it's just people using this as disaster, as clickbait. So they'll choose a decent town, which they know is popular with people, and they know people will click it. And, you know, they'll hopefully get the views and get the money. And that was just, oh, it was despicable. So shame on you. Anybody who used it as clickbait, you know, that's just terrible, really, to earn money from YouTube. So, or whatever platform it is. I don't think you... Yeah, I'm rambling on about that, but it did annoy me. I thought, yeah, give good, honest, like, photos that people have sent you of what's been happening. That's fine. Yeah, but don't go out there, nick something from 10 years ago, pretend it's what it's not, just so people view you. So there you go. Told off whoever did that. All right then, guys. Thanks for watching again. Sorry for the late video. Might be like this for a couple of weeks, but we're going to be back up and running with more pop-ups and let you know what's happening with Upsticks, Residencies, our YouTube and Spain, and a lot more. And we've got some more plans coming for 2025 for more videos. slightly put our winter plans on hold. I did have a few more back to basics videos I wanted to do, but we will definitely, I think the next thing will be commenting on the new law once it's passed and getting our opinion out there on it. Thanks for watching. Catch up next week for update number 40 already.